Now that you know how to find your grades, I just want to say a couple of things about grades while you're in college. I'm going to give you a couple of pieces of advice and a couple of pieces of information. So first up, the advice, take it or leave it. I think it's really important to check your grades often. Look at your grades every week, get the feedback for your assignments. There is nothing worse than being surprised by your grade at the end of the class when it's too late to do anything about it. So stay on top of where your grades are. I know sometimes there can be some anxiety around checking your grade, but it's better to know ahead of time when you can still fix the problem than to find out at the very end when there's nothing you can do anymore. So a couple of things about grades. If you are feeling overwhelmed and stuck, like, I don't think I can complete this class, I don't think I can do it well, you have two things you can do. One, you can talk to the professor. The professor might be able to give you extensions on assignments, or you might be able to get something called an incomplete. And an incomplete is when you know you're not going to be able to get all the work done by the end of class. So the professor extends the deadlines beyond class so that you have the opportunity to make up the work and still pass the class. If that's not working for you, you can also talk to your advisor, and your advisor can help you to withdraw from the class. If you withdraw from the class, you still have to pay for it, but it doesn't have any effect on your GPA. So your grade point average stays the same. You get a grade of W, which doesn't count for anything. Hopefully, it will not come to that. Speaking of things it hopefully won't come to, sometimes you get a grade that you feel is wrong. So let's talk about the steps for when you don't feel right about the grade that you got. The first step is to reach out to the professor and ask for an explanation of why you got the grade you did. Your professor should be able to explain why you got your grade and why your grade is what it is. That's a reasonable expectation for a student, that a professor can explain why your grade is what it is. You can appeal to your professor by making specific points, right? Like, you gave me 5 points off for lateness, but actually it wasn't late. See, I turned it in on the 15th. It was due on the 16th, something like that, right? You can make your case to have your grade changed. Make sure when you ask to have a grade changed that you're asking based on the rules in the syllabus. I know it feels awful to get a low grade when you try really hard, but you won't be able to make an argument based on effort. The argument about your grade has to be based on, I did the things that I was expected to do. And that's part of university culture. If you are really feeling strongly that you've been graded unfairly and you've talked to the professor and the professor says, no, I'm not going to make a change, then you also have an opportunity to appeal to the school to have the school look and see if your grade should be changed. So the way to do that is to get in touch with your advisor and let your advisor know that you're wanting to do a grade appeals form. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So when I'm looking for a form that I need at Eastern, I tend to Google Eastern University and then the thing I need, because it usually comes up in my Google search and saves me a lot of trouble looking around the website. So here is the evaluative action grade appeals form. If you click on that, you can fill it out. And it asks you for some information that you need. And then you can fill that, once you've filled that out, you can submit it with your advisor. So you always have the opportunity, if you really feel that your grade is unfair, to appeal to the dean and see if it's possible to get your grade changed. But the best advice I can give you is always look at the feedback on anything you do and look at it as soon as possible. If there's a mistake, you can catch it, and usually your professor is happy to change that mistake. Or if you're not doing well, that's your opportunity to figure out how you can fix the problem right then before it's too late.